This August the 1st picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is giving away $15 million in Best Ball Mania 5. Sign up with our code MLB SGPN to claim your first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm has the best AI picks and projections, and the football models are almost live. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Wednesday, the 31st of July. We are here to handicap a teeny tiny 5-game card for August the 1st. And we'll have a little bit of trades chat as well. The deadline passed pretty much while myself and Scott were live last night recording the show. Joining me is Mr. D. Rock. Dylan, hello, mate. How are you?
Doing well. Good to be with you, Mal. The end of July. We're in the midst of the Olympics. August is upon us. So just ready for a big show and some trade talk. I'm happy with what the Mets did. They didn't get that key name, but I am happy with what they got.
Yeah, look, looks like Munaf's taking his eye off the ball because we got the easy shift tonight, didn't we? We got the
we usually
do 5-game card. Munaf normally keeps them for himself, but he's by accident, I presume, rotated us on to do the little 5-game card, which is it's nice. You can do a little bit more. You can look into a few more batting angles, a few more matchup props. Just you can let it breathe a little bit more than when you're frantically trying to get through 15 games. Although the pressure is on to try and go 3-2 or 4-1, you can't end up too far behind. I'm not having a bad week so far. I did very well on Monday night, right 10-5, maybe 11-4, and started okay tonight. There's been lots of baseball so far tonight. Started okay. My lockers hit, which was the over in the Braves at the Brewers, and my YouTube shorts. I've gone 2 out of 2 so far this week. Having gone 5 out of 6 when we started doing them the week before. So yeah, going along okay. Worth talking about just the trade deadline because this is something that you all know, like yourself and Munaf and the rest of the hosts and all the listeners, is still kind of helping me out on my baseball journey because I'm in year 8 now. So the trade deadline, I think for the first time this year, I felt like I could form my own opinions on it. A lot of the time, I very much let you lot tell me kind of what's been going on. First question I'm going to ask you here, Dylan. We do like a bit of trivia. How many of the top 100 prospects in baseball were traded at the deadline?
Ooh. Out of 100, I'll say 70.
0 is the answer. You missed by 70. So that's kind of me point that leads into this trade talk because normally that's what happens. There's a blockbuster trade, or you see a lot of these players change hands, and obviously everyone's there's lots of different. MLB pipeline is different to Baseball Reference. I think this was US Baseball today. Their top 100, and not one of them moved, which is really, really unusual. And the trade deadline to me, I think, and this is my take, you can try and tell me, or the listeners can, if I'm absolutely miles away, that with so many teams still in contention, we know the wild card race is an absolute bum fight at the minute. Teams seem to fill up for floor rather than ceiling. Teams were trading for SP4, SP5. Teams were backfilling their bench, sort of reserve hitters rather than these stellar players. They were trading to stay in the thing rather than let's go for it. Can we just hang around for the second half of the season? And that, to me, is what many of these trades, even the trades that were happening live last night when me and Scott were talking, just seemed to be that level of trade and not either the big prospects moving or those big ticket items going. Anywhere near accurate, do you think, Dylan?
I think it's 100% accurate. And I think one of the reasons, and I was saying to this when Trevor Rogers got traded yesterday, just the prices have become way too high. If I was a GM, I kind of would just sit back and if I had a really good team or kind of a team that's contending right now, I kind of would just let it play out. I think the prices are too high for, like you said, starting pitcher 4s, 5s, like not even top guys. Well, maybe Jack Flaherty's one of those guys, or Eric Fetty was top of the list as well. But outside of those, nothing. There were no household names, no prospects. And I think a lot of the clubs, they value their prospects and they value the players that they have. So I think the price is just too high where it's getting out of everyone's range. So I kind of was sitting there yesterday as the deadline came to an end, kind of sitting back. Like if I was a GM, I probably kind of would have stayed where I was. If I was maybe not the Mets, but like the Cardinals, I really like what they did. They didn't really get a lot, but they got a starting pitcher what they needed, Eric Fetty. They got a guy like the guy on the Mets, Tommy Pham. He's still 36. He still crushes the ball. Sean Alexander, they got a good reliever as well. They filled kind of all the gaps that they needed. So a team that I kind of was down on, they kind of went for it, and they got pretty good players for not the highest price either. So I think the price for a lot of these players, even started pitching 3 and 4s, they're just too high at this point.
Yeah, there were a couple of teams who didn't blow it up necessarily, but were really busy. The Marlins have got nothing to blow up. The Marlins traded away 9 players, and the Rays traded away 9 players. The Rays can kind of do that anyway. They're very often busy doing stuff under the radar. So nothing really much changed in that one. And maybe the other team, I think, who admitted a little bit of defeat were Detroit. They did give away Flaherty. And then Mark Canha, which was a little bit Mark Can't Hit. Where you remember you christened him Mark Can't Hit about 2 years ago when he was on the Mets. And he ended up on the Giants. So Detroit, who haven't been hitting well. And we're going to come on to Detroit, actually. We handicapped them tonight. And I picked out a few batting stats on them. So, yeah, a little bit of a underwhelming might be the word for this trade deadline. Away from the pitchers, Randy Arozarena was obviously the biggest mover, but that was last week, and we've already covered him. So yeah, interesting to see how we move forward. I think we officially hit the dog days now, August. Yeah. I listened to a little bit of the radio call earlier on of the Braves and the Brewers, and they were just talking about these days in August now. It's hot, it gets hard. The Phillies were heading out on a 14-day West Coast road trip, which is their longest road trip. I think they've got 13 games in 14 days. That's their longest trip of the year. And that's a big old trip. Phillies are scuffling along a little bit. They got the win tonight, actually. They needed it, but not hitting well. And then they go on this big road trip. So that's interesting to see just how they fare. Luckily for the Phillies, the Braves aren't applying much pressure at the moment. So there you go. Did I just say the Phillies won tonight? They didn't. They got beat, didn't they? Off the Yankees.
They lost.
The Braves. Sorry, the Braves beat the Brewers, and the Phillies lost again to the Yankees. So the Phillies just this road trip. I think we'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out a little bit more how they're going to go. Okay, 5 games. We're not going to drag this out because I know with a 5-game card, we just said it's nice for me and Dylan not to have to spend hours handicapping, but it's also nice for you not to have to spend hours listening to get to the picks. So we will get through it. The boys, Sean and Ryan, launching their 32 NFL team previews at the moment. I listened to the New York Giants preview today, which was great fun. Ryan being a Giants fan, getting very protective. So you need to submit the 32 code words if you listen to those 32 previews, the phrase that pays, and you could be the lucky winner who gets a $500 NFL Circa future bet. So subscribe to that wherever you get your podcasts and the SGPN app. Underdog Fantasy has just launched Underdog Streaks. You can win 1,000 times your money if you can go on a streak and get an 11-0 run going. There's $15 million in prizes at Best Ball Mania. That is all over at underdogfantasy.com with our promo code MLB SGPN. That'll get you the special pick and first-time deposit bonus up to $250 in bonus cash. Underdogfantasy.com, MLB SGPN. And Odds Jam, your one-stop shop for beating the sports books. Loads of data points across USA and Canadian sports books. It's got the big ones, it's got the little ones, it's got the medium-sized ones. Positive ROI with the arbitrage tool, highest EV plays if you're using fantasy for stuff. And the best sign-up bonuses as well. There's a little tool on there. Use the link oddsjam.com with the promo code SGPN. Don't forget to enter that promo code. That'll get you 7 days free trial. Oddsjam.com, promo code SGPN, 35% off. Right, okay, D-Rock. 5 games, 3 are on the board. We can speculate a little bit at the others. 6:40 Eastern first pitch is the Baltimore Orioles and the Cleveland Guardians. Baltimore are officially TBD. I believe it's going to be Dean Kramer on the mound. For Cleveland, it will be Ben Lively. I haven't seen any lines on this one. D-Rock, do you have lines, or what were the Rockford lines on this?
Yeah, so I think lines just popped up for Cleveland -110, Baltimore -106, over-unders at 9.5. -114 towards the under, -106 towards the over. And that's exactly what I made the Guardians, only a 110 favorite here at home. You know, Ben Lively, he's been really good at home this year. 5-1, 2.66 ERA, only 12 runs given up in 40 innings. He hasn't allowed more than 3 runs at home all year. So Guardians, outside of that loss to the Phillies the other night, 8-0. Outside of that, they've been playing really well. Pitching's been there. They have the best bullpen in the league. And I still feel like, I think we talked about it last week. Maybe it was with Munaf, but I still feel like the Orioles are struggling here, especially offensively. They've lost 4 of the 7 away games for Kramer. So I think this is a good spot at that number, -110. That's exactly what I made the Guardians. So I have no problem taking Cleveland here at home.
Okay, complete and utter crossfire here in this first one because I like Baltimore, Dylan. So Lively is in good form. You're absolutely right. 5 earned in his last 3 starts across 16 2/3. He's getting no help off the offense at all, and it's the Cleveland offense that is the main reason I'm fading them here. They won. So those last 3 games, they won 3-1, lost 2-1, lost 2-0. And they're just in the last 14 days, 3.1 runs per game, in comparison to Baltimore's 5.8 RPG. You can't argue with Lively's home record, 5-1, 2.66 ERA. Dean Kramer, fairly consistent, averages just over 2 earned runs per game in his last 5 starts. He's very good on the road, 3.05 ERA. I mean, you're giving us, by the way, a total here of 9.5 when you've got a pitcher with a home ERA of 2.66 taking on a pitcher with a road ERA of 3.05. So boxes tick there towards the under. It's really tight on the face of it, but it's poles apart on the recent batting stats. And for that reason, I use that to split the tie. I'll take Baltimore at -106.
I do agree on the under, though. I set my total at 8.7, so 9.5 does seem very high.
Yeah, you got 2 good pitchers. It's definitely high. I agree. 6:40 Eastern is the Kansas City Royals at the Detroit Tigers. Seth Lugo confirmed for the Royals. Detroit officially TBD, but Kedar Montero is the pitcher I see going for Detroit. You can correct me if I'm wrong. -172 on the Royals, +144 for the Tigers. Total is at 8.5. Seth Lugo has had a stellar season, but suffered his second bad start in 3 games last time against the Chicago Cubs, giving up 5 runs. The Royals have now lost 3 of his last 4, and Lugo's July ERA sat at 4.78. Montero has now had 6 starts for Detroit, so we're getting a little sample size. He's given up 5 earned runs in each of his last 3, and that's a problem. It's really hard not to take the Royals to win, but obviously -172 isn't going to get you rich. The batting numbers all point to the Royals, 5.5 runs per game against 3.8. 281 average against a 205 batting average for Detroit over the last 14 days. And like I say, they've just traded away one of the better hitters in Canha. Lugo, however, has not been razor sharp. In the Kansas City bullpen is running a 5.16 ERA recently, last 14 days. So I like the over here. I think Lugo, Montero, and the Royals pen can all help us get over 8.5 to them.
Yeah, so for me, I like the Royals big here tomorrow. I like their team total over 4.5, whatever you could get. Montero, like you said, he's given up 5 runs in 3 starts and 4+ runs in 4 of his last 5 home starts. So the part of this schedule, this is the part of the schedule the Royals need to be winning against White Sox that they just start winning. I like this matchup here against Montero. They need to score runs, get this win. This is a borderline top 10 offense in Kansas City. They swept the Tigers at home earlier in this season, and Seth Lugo, I know he hasn't pitched like recent Seth Lugo, but back in the day, earlier in the season, he did go 7 scoreless. And, I think we're going to see a more focused Seth Lugo. You talked about it. That was arguably his worst outing in his last start against the Cubs. So I think a big bounce back from him here on the road. I like a -1.5. It's only at even money, so I kind of would stay away from that. But team total over, I think we could get some runs here tomorrow as well.
16 hits for the Royals tonight. The Wednesday night game, against the White Sox and Drew Thorpe, who had been pitching quite well actually. The little travel spot, but the Royals bats do have their eyes in at the moment. Next game on the board, or off the board actually. This is the second game that we have no odds on. It is the Miami Marlins at the Atlanta Braves, a 7:20 Eastern first pitch. Max Meyer has just been confirmed as the Marlins starter. We were speculating. We did think it was going to be him. Charlie Morton goes for the Atlanta Braves. Dylan, lines dropped on this one then. If we've just seen a picture, can you refresh? I've got nothing at the moment.
Yeah, so let me refresh real quick. Yep, the line just came out. So -200 on the money line for the Braves, +168 for the Fish. Over-unders at 8.5.
Okay. So Max Meyer, I'm pleased it's him because he is who are handicapped. And I'm quite high on him, Dylan. We were hopefully going to have a good season before he got injured. He's been away. He came back. He's now sitting at 2-0 with an ERA of a level 3. Did it again last week for us. It wasn't as good at the Brewers, but we did like him in that game. In Miami, have won his last 3 now. He did face Atlanta as well, actually, on April the 13th, back before he got injured. 6 innings, 1 earned run. I like Meyer. The Charlie Morton only lasted 2 2/3 last time out against the Mets. Gave up 5 earned runs. Has lost 2 of his previous 3, giving up 7 earned runs across them. His July ERA was 5.31. Miami won tonight. Scored 6 runs at the Tampa Bay Rays and won. They are 8-3 on the run line in the last 14. So if you like the run line, if you like Miami +1.5, I wouldn't put you off that at all. But they're outscoring Atlanta as well in that recent time frame as well. They're outscoring them by by 0.7 runs per game. And their actually batting average is nearly half a point higher, 0.45 higher than Atlanta's. I'm going to take Miami here. I think +168 is a huge price, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm intrigued because I did handicap Sean Anderson, but it is Max Myers going. I think the Braves have been playing a little better as of late, especially offensively. Like you mentioned, the Marlins have been pesky recently, but I feel like the Braves just owned them. 4 straight wins against them. 5 of the last 6 meetings on the season they have wins against. And Max Meyer is pretty good. I mean, regardless of his worst outing last time, they still won the game 7-3. So my problem is I don't know how long he'll go for. He doesn't really go all that long. So either 4 or 5 or 6 innings. I kind of like the team total here for the Marlins. If you could get it like a 3.5, they've been scoring a lot of runs. What they scored just 6 today. They've only not scored three runs once this past week. It was against the Brewers, but 3-9, 7-3, 6-2. Like they're scoring some runs here. So I would take if you could get a 3.5 with this team total. Charlie Morton's not that good. Like, he got blown up against the Mets on the road in his last start. He's given up 3+ runs in the month of June. ERA's over a 5. So maybe I look towards the Braves should win, but maybe get their over with the team total for the Marlins. I think that's a good angle.
Dylan, that's a really good angle. Is obviously taking the Marlins is a little bit of a risk, but you see that never occurred to me to go into the Miami team total. We're talking earlier on about me still learning, and you boys put me in the right direction. I like Miami, so I was going to take Miami. But another angle in would be to do that, and you've absolutely hit the nail on the head there. Gio has joined us in the chat, just pointing out that Jordan Westberg fractured his hand today, which is a big loss for Baltimore. It's a big loss for a lot of my fantasy teams as well. So I'll have to get on the waiver wire. That is disappointing. We move on. We've got 2 games left. I'll tell you about Rhythm. If you're not checking out the AI picks and props from Rhythm, then you're missing out. They've just predicted a ton of winners for the 3M Open in the golf, and the football models are about to drop. You can even customize your own betting models easily using Rhythm's tools. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Can you play golf, Dylan? Are you a golfer?
No, I'm more into like mini golf.
Oh, that like crazy golfing, like the clown's mouth and the windmill and all that.
Yeah, exactly, with like the dinosaur or whatnot. But I've golfed a few times. It's okay. It's good for like the boys and getting drunk on the course. But other than that,
I tell you, if you want to go down a YouTube rabbit hole, just search up the World Mini Golf Championships. There's so many clips on it, and they take it so seriously. It's absolutely outstanding. One of my a couple of events around the country here, and one of my bucket list things is to go and enter like the British Open mini golf. They take it so seriously, but it's compelling viewing. Once you've watched it, you'll find yourself sitting in the chair 2 hours later, still watching the same mini golf tournament. So yeah, get yourself down that one. Next up we're on to the penultimate game, Dylan, already, which is an 8:05 Eastern first pitch between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs. Sonny Gray goes for the Cardinals, and left-handed pitcher Shota Imanaga for the Cubbies. This one is very close on the books. It's -104, the Cards. It's -112 on the Cubs. Not seeing a total.
8.
Usual problems there. You got a total, Dylan?
Yeah, 8.
8. Okay. The reason I laughed when I read out Sonny Gray was that this is the 3rd time I've handicapped him this week. I've done the show 3 nights consecutively here, and I've handicapped Sonny Gray on all the shows. St. Louis faffing about with their pitchers. So this is the 3rd time I'm going to fade Sonny Gray in 3 nights for the same reasons. If you were listening, I faded him the last 2. 5, 3, 5, and 3 earned runs given up in his last 5 starts. Lost to the Chicago Cubs on July the 12th, even though he pitched okay. Has a 5.29 road ERA. Imanaga is on a good run here. 3 wins in a row. Only 4 earned runs given up, over 18 2/3. His last home start, that was 2 starts ago, 7 innings, 1 earned run, and 10 strikeouts against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So I like the Cubs with Imanaga, but also quite like the under. The Cubs are 8-1 to the under against right-handed pitching in the last fortnight. So I like the Cubbies at -12. I like the under 8. If you're feeling really fruity, you can combine those 2, Dylan.
Yeah, we're cross fires again. I only made the Cubs a -110 favorite. I got to be honest, I really don't trust either team. But I got to admit, you and I were both down on the Cardinals coming into the season. I'm still kind of down. I do like the moves that they made. As of right now, sitting here July 31st, I do think they are the better team of the two. Both aren't really playing the best baseball, to be honest, but I do trust the bats more of the Cardinals. Cubs, they've been struggling offensively all season, especially against the series against the Reds. I know in Manaka, he has been good at home this season, so I understand the angle on the over, but I probably take a shot here with the Cardinals. I think the offense is better. I think they will eventually get to them and that bullpen. And as for the total, mine came out to 9.3. So I actually love the over. We're going to have winds blowing out into center field, so you know how Wrigley is at night. Cardinals, they've been over this total 4 of the last 5 games. Cubs, they've been over this total in 3 of their last 4 games. So I do think Sonny Gray, if it's a blowout, I do think Sonny Gray gives up a ton of runs. He hasn't been the best, but I do think offensively they can hang around. So I love the over much more than any side, if I'm being honest.
Okay, so I've got the Cubs and the under. Dylan's got the Cards and the over. Absolutely no help to anybody. You're very welcome, listeners. One more game left on the card. This is a beauty. This is what we live for, Dylan.
Yeah.
This is what we're here for. 9:38 Eastern first pitch between the Colorado Rockies and the LA Angels, with Ryan Feltner going for the Rockies and Carson Fulmer going for the Angels. Plus 102 Colorado, minus 120 for the Angels. And I haven't wrote the total down. It's very possible I just didn't write the totals down as opposed to not seeing them. What's the total here, Dylan?
Yeah, so for this game, the total is at 9.
9, okay. Right, absolute peach. How did you pick apart the Rockies and the Angels? Feltner against Fulmer.
Yeah, minus 120 is a fair price for the Angels here at home, I think. I made them a minus 135 favorite. I tried to get cute the other night. I think it was last night with the Rockies. They had the lead for most of the game, and they blew it late with that bullpen per usual. So couldn't get home with them. Their bullpen is so bad. And I mean, Kyle Freeland's number speaks for themselves. So he just got rocked the other night. I know we thought the numbers were a little skewed because of how he started in the beginning of the season, but he's just not good on the road. I really wouldn't want to back him with that bullpen, especially. So Angels, their bat sims, they kind of woken up a little bit. 18 runs in 2 games. I mean, they have come alive recently. Tough news about Mike Trout with that setback, though. I think he's going to retire soon. But side note, I don't think the Rockies could win a game right now. So that's another team I'm kind of surprised about, that they didn't really do anything or kind of sell. They have a bunch of guys that they could kind of let go or at least get some prospects for. So that was a team that I was really confused as to why they held on to all of their players. But yeah, give me the Angels minus 120. I really like them, and Carson Fulmer hasn't been terrible. So it's also going to be my lock of the day. Give me the Angels.
Yeah, there's about 4 players on the Rockies that they probably should have got rid of. You're absolutely right, Dylan. That they are the worst run team in MLB. So Feltner pitched really well in July. He ended the month with back-to-back starts against the Giants, 13 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 12 strikeouts. But Colorado did lose both of those games, 4-1 and 3-2. He had a 2.51 July ERA. And he's got a 4.16 road ERA, which isn't terrible in the grand scheme. We're talking about Lugo and other people. They're all up around there. Carson Fulmer is going all right as well. His last 5 starts has given up 3-3, 0, 2 and 0 for a 2.59 ERA at home. Although a lot of that has been out the bullpen. I think he's made something like 14 appearances, only 2 as a starter. So I'm not sure how much length we're going to get out of him. So I do like both pitchers in this spot. And as we know, neither offense are tremendous. I think they can keep it tight early. I looked around the bullpen numbers, the batting numbers, and there wasn't much else to split them. So I thought the safest option was to keep the first 5 under with these 2 pitchers who were going okay. I think they've both been going fine. So first 5 sitting at 4 or 5 maybe, 5 dead. So yeah, we can take a first 5 under that one. Bit of a slow burner, low key pitching duel between Feltner and Fulmer. Dylan, you just alluded to it. We need a lock and a dog. You're going to go with the Angels as your lock, is that right?
Yeah, I think, like you said, Fulmer, he's been pretty good. I think the offense has, like I said, has picked up 18 total runs in the last 2 games. And yeah, I could see a first 5 under. I mean, I only made my total 8.6, so I do think a 9 is a little too high. So I do agree with your first 5 under, but I just think the Angels are the much better team right now. Rockies can't buy a win. So minus 120 at home, I think, is a fair price. So yeah, I'll lock them up. As my dog, I didn't really give too many dog prices. I mean, I gave even money for the Royals run line, which I really don't love. Don't like Miami. Cardinals are short dog, but still. I'll get cute. Give me the Guardians minus 1.5. I think Dean Kramer still struggling a little bit offensively as well. The Orioles kind of up and down, and I know the Guardians offense is not much better, but Ben Lively at home, I just think he could really shut down the Orioles. So I'll take a chance here. I didn't have the number right in front of me. If you could track that down, whatever the Cleveland Guardians minus 1.5 plus 172, I see. So that's a nice price. I'll take a little pizza bet with that as my dog.
Okay, like that. My lock is going to be. Oh, where we going, man? Let's take that first 5 under between the Rockies and the Angels. I do like both pitchers much more than I like anything else that's going to appear in this game. So first 5 under there, reckon it's going to be around about 5. For my dog, it's going to be the Miami Marlins. Spelled out the reasons like Maya. Not too keen on Morton. The prices are just too far apart. Morton's minus 200. Like I say, Miami going well, 8-3 on the run line last 14. Batting numbers are better, runs per game, batting average are all higher. Maya pitched really well against this Braves team back in April. Miami won again tonight. So quite a few ticks in boxes for Miami, which isn't always the case. Plus 168 is a giant price for the Marlins. And Dylan, what is tricky here is picking someone who's going to hit a dingers, because you've only got 10 teams to choose from. So who's going to hit one out tomorrow?
Yeah, this one was tough, like you said. Not a lot to choose from, but I am going to go to that Detroit and Kansas City game, and I am going to fade Montero. You know, he's given up 10 home runs in just a little over a month, 6 home runs in the last 3 games. I'm going to take the stud shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr., to hit a home run. He had one on Monday night against the White Sox. I think he tore it up that night, 4 for 5 or something like that. He does have 19 home runs on the season. 16 of them have come against righties. You know, the way Montero has been pitching, I think he's going to see plenty of opportunities, hopefully before he gets out of there. But I do think this is a good spot for Bobby Witt Jr. Here on Thursday. So give me the shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr.
Okay. First place I went to was to look at Kansas City Royals. And actually, yeah, Witt's the standout on that team, but doesn't jump out a mile. I'm going to possibly, like an absolute glutton for punishment, go back to the Marlins. Actually, I don't think I am. We're going to fade the Cardinals. Who can we fade here? Maybe we can fade Ben Lively, although he's been going well. Baltimore can hit anything. Cardinals, no, right, okay. Now we'll go to the Marlins, and we will look at. They traded Kyle Stowers, didn't they? He batted third today for them. It's got to be my man Jake Berger, I think. Jake Berger off Charlie Morton. I did back Jake Berger to hit the most home runs this season, and 150 to 1. That is not going to hit. So he can make me some money back by hitting a home run tomorrow. We will take big Jake Berger. Trev has just joined us in the chat. I wanted to ask Trev about Pine River cheese spread because, like I said, I listened to the Milwaukee Brewers radio call. By the way, the Milwaukee Brewers radio man is very funny. I don't know if he's intentionally funny or not, but either way, he made me laugh a lot. And they kept reading the adverts out and talking at great length about Pine River cheese spread. So I then went on the website and holy shit, there's about 9,000 different flavours of this cheese spread and it looked like my favourite thing. So what I need you to do, Trev, is box me up about $200 worth of Pine River cheese spread and send it across. Are you allowed to export cheese? You might get put in prison. I would not tell the authorities. Was it Bob Uecker? Okay, Trev's saying it's Bob Uecker. Now I know that name. I couldn't pick him out of a crowd, but I've heard the name. I do know he's a living legend. And having listened to him for 20 minutes earlier on, I can see why. Because he had me absolutely enthralled. So there you go. Fantastic. Right, Dylan. We're going to let the people go. Is there anything you want to add? What's happening?
No, I just looked up some Pine River cheese spread. That shit looks amazing. So I'm about to go have some cheese and crackers tonight.
All the flavors. It's like the one that caught my eye was the port wine flavor, Dill. I mean, that's right up my street.
There's pepper jack, jalapeno, spicy beer, hot jalapeno. Oh my god,
mate! Yeah, it's Dylan. I'm like, we're all going to Wisconsin. Team trip to Wisconsin. We'd sleep on Trev's sofa. We'd eat Pine River cheese spread until we die. Thanks everyone for joining us. Some variation of the team will be back tomorrow. Good luck with all of your picks. And we will see you down the road. Cheers.